Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VII. We are at part 34, and oh man, a lot's going down in this part. For one, I did this off screen. I got a ribbon. A ribbon you can actually morph from an enemy in the final dungeon that we will be seeing in the next part, so I decided to do it off screen, especially since it took like 30 minutes to do, because that enemy has a fuck ton of HP, and I forgot how much HP it had, so I just kind of hit it a few times and then morphed it until it died, and it took way too fucking long. But anyways, we have the ribbon now, which is good, but we're doing a lot of stuff today in this part. This is all the side stuff, well, most of the side stuff that you can do in Disc 3. For one, the first thing we're gonna do is head back to this behind the waterfall where Lucretia was to see maybe there's something there. There is something there, but make sure, of course, Vincent is in your party once again. And we're gonna check it out. Let's see what's there. So we go in, and Lucretia's not there anymore. And we get Vincent's ultimate weapon and ultimate limit break right there. Chaos is his ultimate limit break. Death penalty is his ultimate weapon. Lucretia has finally passed on. She is finally, I think after being told that Sephiroth is dead, she's finally been at peace after all this time. So, I mean, it's sad, but also probably what's for the best. But anyways, now that that's done, we are now going to Nibelheim. I don't know why I'm flying around this roundabout way to get there, but we are going to Nibelheim one last time. To maybe because there's still one thing we haven't gotten an answer on, and that's why is Nibelheim still intact? Like, it burned down, and why is it still intact, and why are there people there who seem to have no memory of it being intact, of it being burned down by Sephiroth? They act like it's not real. So we are actually going into Nibelheim, have Tifa in your party, then go to Tifa's house, and we're gonna jam out on the piano one last time, play the main melody of the game. There we go. And with Tifa in the party, she will be like, she recognizes the melody and it's like, hey, I have the sheet music for that song. And then she grabs the sheet music, opens it, and there's a note. Tifa, what's happened to our town? Was it all an illusion or just a dream? No, it was neither. Blah, 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 blah. So this is a note from Tifa's martial art instructor, saying that he found her after the Nibelheim incident and only had time to get her out. And right as he was getting her out, Shinra troops showed up and snatched up Cloud and Zack, to which they were experimented on for years. And then he came back to Midgar sometime, or Nibelheim sometime later, and saw that it was perfectly intact and nobody had any memory. And he believes, and this is true, the Shinra hired actors to go to this town to try to cover up what happened. Because, what happened would make the Shinra look really bad, so they tried to cover it up. So that's why this town is still intact. They rebuilt it, they hired new people to fill in the places of the old ones and act like nothing ever happened. And with that, we got Tifa's ultimate limit break, Final Heaven. So now all that's left is to find out where Cloud's limit break is, and then we'll have all of them. And like I said, I'm not going to be getting Cloud's limit break, but I will be showing where it is. I'm just not getting it to save time, because frankly, I don't feel like it, and we'll be seeing it later anyway, like I said. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for the limit breaks that we're getting. We aren't getting Aerith's because why, and same with Kate Sith, because, why would you use Kate Sith? But anyways, now we are actually going to head to this area. This is a lake behind Junon, and you see there's this big fucking weapon here. This is ultimate weapon, one of the optional super bosses in this game. This is the easiest of the three by far, so here's what you do. You just use Knights of the Round on it. That's it. In fact, this is the only of the optional super bosses that was in the original Japanese release of this game. In the US releases, they added 2 more that we will be fighting later in this part. I'm getting this one out of the way first because this one has a really sweet reward that I want to get now, and also since we can actually take it out now, that's what I'm doing. So just use Knights of the Round on it, and then it will freak the fuck out, as we'll see here, and it will fly away. After you do enough damage to it, it'll fly away, and then we need to track it down. And where it's going to go is actually, it's going to go near Cosmo Canyon. So yeah, so now next thing to do is fly near Cosmo Canyon, and then we'll do the exact same thing. We'll fight it, we'll use Knights of the Round, and then this time it'll fucking die. So yeah, beautiful. This is also, just so you know, this part is the most heavily edited part in the series. This part initially was about 3 hours of footage that I had to edit and speed up a lot of it, because a lot of it, as you'll see, is just me using Knights of the Round over and over again. But yeah, use Knights of the Round again here, and then this should take it out. For Super Boss, nothing too crazy, not bad at all. The other two though, oh, you'll see. But yeah, I'm just speeding through this animation, and that's it for him. He's done. He's out of there. But before he dies, he's gonna counter with Shadow Flare. So, and this is actually gonna kill Cloud, so he doesn't get any experience from this fight, but he's gonna get an even better reward. You get Cloud's ultimate weapon from beating this guy. This is ultimate weapon. This is the ultimate weapon, and you get Cloud's ultimate weapon, which is the Ultima weapon. You keeping up? But that fight actually gives you a shit ton of experience, so I kind of wish Cloud got that, but it's okay. He'll make up for it later. He'll get a bunch of experience later that the other two party members won't be getting. And there's the Ultima weapon. Beautiful. Cloud's ultimate weapon, like I said in the last part, ultimate weapons do not have materia growth, so you can't level up materia with them equipped, but they are, of course, the strongest weapons in the game. So when you're done leveling up materia, equip them on. If you're set with materia, you're happy with it, then yeah. And now ultimate weapon leaves a big fucking crater outside of Cosmo Canyon. But now, next place we're going to go is, we're actually going to go to the Gold Saucer. And if you know side content, you know there's a shit ton of stuff to do here. And we are going to be getting some items to prepare for the other two super bosses that we're going to be fighting. So yeah, we're going to head, though it's kind of annoying, you can't get into the Gold Saucer through the Gold Saucer. You actually have to go to North Corral and then ride the trolley up. So yeah, but first I'm going to rest at the end because, you know, we're all pretty banged up from the ultimate weapon fight. So beautiful, beautiful, perfect. And then we're gonna head to the Gold Saucer, and what we need to get right now is we need to get the GP, which is the currency of the Gold Saucer, because we need to be spending it on something. And the fastest way to get GP I found is through Chocobo races. If you remember, we actually have a Gold Chocobo. And Gold Chocobos stat-wise are typically really fucking fast, and this one is no exception. So we are actually going to go race it at the races, and it's a pretty much guaranteed win until we get into the higher ranks. And that's going to get us, that can potentially get us a lot of GP, which we will need because we're going to be doing a certain activity over and over again that costs GP. So yeah, we make our way to the Gold Saucer, and then we are going to head to the Chocobo Square. But first, I'm actually equipping Cloud for something that we're going to do later. We're actually going to be at the Battle Square here in a bit, but first we're going to the Chocobo Square, and I'm equipping Cloud properly for something in a bit. I think we already paid the permanent price to get in before, so we're good now. Head to the Chocobo Square, and then we're going to go and race some Chocobos for a bit. And like I said, we're going to be doing it kind of over and over again. A lot of the stuff here is just kind of a grind where you do it over and over again to get something. And we don't talk to that one. We talk to Esther, that we want to race Chocobos. So yeah, we're gonna register, and we're gonna register Doug because he's the only Chocobo we have, or she. Yeah, just do the short race just to save time. But yeah, so. I'm going to be showing most of the first race, basically, once you get it. Like, Doug is flashing for some reason, but we're the fastest, so we're going to win. I know we're behind right now, but we have the most stamina and stuff because the gold chocobos have very high stats. So yeah, eventually, like, you know, this is just what we're going to be doing. I'm just pulling out, using my dash to pull out ahead. But I realize Doug's actually not very good at listening to us right now. So I'm going to, you know, we still won the race because of pure stats, but we actually need to feed Doug some greens. And I realize I have not shown you a place to get some of the best greens in the game. So I'm actually going to go do that really quick. Another thing that's annoying about the chocobo race is you have to wait until somebody else finishes beside you to actually exit out. That's a little irritating, but anyways, you can also get some items from doing this, but the main thing we want is the GP. But anyways, so what we're going to do here, you get GP from winning them. You can actually ask for either an item or GP. Ask for GP, you want the GP. But also, this guy, this is the Chocobo Sage, and he can sell us some of the best nuts and greens in the game for Chocobos. They're expensive as fuck, but I buy a few of each just to get Doug to like me a bit more, so he'll listen more in the races, and also get his stats up more, even more, so we'll destroy them even more. So I just buy 20 of each. It's very expensive, like I said, but still, we got plenty of money, and we're not really spending it on anything else at this point in the game, so might as well. But yeah, just buy 20 of each, and then we are going to go back to the races. And like I said, at the end of every race when you win, oh, well, first we need to feed them to Doug. Yeah, so you can't feed them just anywhere. You actually have to take Doug to the Chocobo farm, or your Chocobo to the Chocobo farm, and then select feeding Chocobos and feed them the greens. A little irritating, but oh well. This is all optional. Like I said, if you don't want to do this, then just don't. So yeah, I'm just speeding this up. Beautiful. Perfect. Excuse me. But anyways, yeah, and now we're going to get back to the races. So, like I said, anytime you win, be sure to select the GP option for what you want. You can get some cool items, but ask for GP because we want the GP. The reason we're doing this is for the battle square, which costs GP to use, to do. So we want as much GP as we can. I basically get Doug up to the S rank and then call it, and because I have over 300 GP by then. So yeah, once you get up to the highest rank, which is the S rank, then you should have enough. I have over 300. That's going to be plenty. It's actually probably overkill because it only costs 10 GP per battle square like game. I'm just using it as a failsafe in case I fuck up a lot, because the battle square does have some RNG involved that can be a little irritating, but once again, it's optional, so you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Important thing though, this is the reason we got the ribbon. Equip Cloud with the ribbon, or equip whoever you can only send one person in the battle square. Equip whoever you're sending in with the ribbon, because the enemies here love status ailments, so just not having to deal with that. The ribbon nullifies all status effects. So just not having to deal with status ailments is very nice. It's very nice. But basically, what the battle square is, we saw it some in part 18, I believe. But it's just a gauntlet of enemy after enemy. There's 8 battles, and after you win every battle, this is Cloud's ultimate weapon. You want to see how much damage Cloud's ultimate weapon does? I think Cloud's going to counter them here. It does a fuck ton of damage and has a pretty high chance of a critical hit. You'll see it here. It does a lot of damage. Look at that, 6,000 damage on one hit. If it crits, it's a 9999. And with multi-hit, that means you're doing over 10,000 damage a turn just from your normal attack. His ultimate weapon is stupidly strong. Definitely worth getting. If you don't get anything else from this part, get his ultimate weapon at the very least. But yeah, so what happens is there's a gauntlet of 8 battles, but after every battle, you'll get a potential handicap onto you. That was minimum. That's supposed to have turned me mini, but because we have, I'm speeding this up, but because we have, this actually isn't me editing, this is me speeding up the emulator once again. Yeah, just because I get impatient with these guys. But yeah, so because we have the ribbon that nullifies that that status ailment completely, so we don't get that. But then also there's some like half MP. So as you see there, our MP is now half. So before that we had nearly 900 MP. Now we have 447. Also half HP is one. There's so many debuffs you can get on yourself from here. Sometimes it'll just straight up break one of your pieces of armor or your weapon, and that's annoying. Or break your accessory. That's a really annoying one, because like I said, enemies here love inflicting status ailments on you, which is why I recommend bringing the ribbon along so you don't have to deal with it. But yeah, so let's see, what do we got? Sometimes it can also disable materia, like that disabled command materia, so we can no longer double cut, and we can no longer use enemy skills. So yeah, the debuffs can be annoying. Just be careful of that. You can kind of time it if you know what to look for, but it's still, there is an element of randomness to it. You can also just get brought down levels, which doesn't do as much as you'd think. If you get brought down like 30 levels or something, then it'll start to make a difference, but it's surprisingly, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're still doing plenty of damage here. And the counter materia is still working, so counter is really nice here, because it can mean you take less turns to win. But yeah, not that bad at all. Well, it can be. And then the weapon's broken. That's not what we want. So yeah, now we have to go to magic. This is why I give Cloud one of every type of materia when I go in here, just in case his physical attacks stop working or one type of materia is broken. I still have the others as a failsafe. There's also a chance for the 8th and final battle that all materia will be broken. So like, you can't use any materia at all. And actually you kind of almost want that, because if you do that, you'll get a huge bonus for the battle points you get. Also, breaking magic materia will get you a pretty big bonus too. This is the final enemy. Yeah, it's not always, the enemies can be randomized, but I'm just using Knights of the Round, not taking any chances. And there we go, beautiful. And that's basically how you do the battle score. We'll get, by winning it, if you lose it at any point, you can back out at any point, you'll keep the battle points that you get, but you're trying to aim for winning it, because if you win it, you get a huge multiplier, especially if you get certain debuffs on yourself. So look at that, we got 10,000. And we're looking for 2 items in particular here. You can exchange battle points for certain items. The first one we're looking for is the championship belt, which costs 16,000. And I'm speeding through this, but it costs 16,000 battle points. The other one we're looking for is the W summon materia, which lets you cast 2 summons in 1 turn, and that's going to be super important for the optional super bosses we'll be fighting here in a bit. But first, we have enough now to buy the championship belt, but this is also, as you can see, where you get Omni Slash, which is Cloud's ultimate limit. That costs 32,000 battle points. W summon costs 64,000. That's what we're looking for. That's the most expensive. But if you want Cloud's ultimate limit break Omni Slash, that costs 32,000. This is where you get it. I'm not going to be getting it for reasons I've already explained, but if you want to get it, this is how you do it. And I'm just speeding through these battles, just not wasting, just to avoid wasting time. But yeah, you just have to do this over and over again until you get enough battle points. It takes a bit, just have some patience if you want to do this. And then once you get enough, you can buy W Summon or whatever you're looking for. For me, I'm looking for W Summon just because that's going to help us, but if you want Omni Slash, you can get that and get out of here, or whatever you want. There's a ton of debuffs you can get on yourself. Like I said, sometimes you can break a piece of armor or an accessory or a weapon. You can disable certain materia. It can lower your levels. It can inflict status ailments. There's a ton of different debuffs. Sometimes, though, you can get lucky and you won't get any debuff at all, or sometimes it'll do something to help you, like heal your HP completely and stuff. But now, you basically just do it over and over again until you get enough. We have 65,000. 65,000 is the max battle points you can carry. There's a loud-ass motorcycle outside. Anyways, there we go. W Summon. Beautiful. And that's how you do the battle square. And then we got W Summon, so now I'm going to get the fuck out of here. If you want Omni Slash, you could stay a bit longer to get that too. The championship belt we wanted, though, I don't know if you saw, the championship belt is an accessory that gives you plus 30 strength and vitality. So it increases your offense by a fuck ton and defense by a fuck ton. But anyways, now it is time to fight the optional super bosses. The first one we're going after is going to be Ruby Weapon, which is found in the area right outside the Gold Saucer in the desert area. He's hiding out underground. This is the materia setup I have going. So here's what you do to beat Ruby Weapon. First, kill both your other party members. Just get them out. They don't matter. We don't need them. Then, have the W Summon materia equipped. The important materia to have equipped is W Summon, Knights of the Round, and HP Absorb linked together, Mime, and then some HP plus materias. Those are the important ones. So, here's the strategy. Here's what we're going to do. Ruby Weapon is a motherfucker. He is hard. And even this strategy is not foolproof. You'll see me die a few times here. So what you gotta do, he is only really susceptible. He has really high defense. And so physical attacks just don't even bother. He has almost 1 million HP. So the strategy here is we're going to use Hades, which is a summon. We're going to use W Summon. The first summon we're going to cast is Hades, which will paralyze him. He is susceptible to paralysis. That's the only status ailment he's susceptible to. Paralyze him to keep him from attacking us, ever. And then we are going to use Knights of the Round to inflict as much damage as possible. And thankfully Knights of the Round penetrates defenses, so his armor can't get through this shit. So yeah, and I'm not speeding through Knights of the Round just to show you. This is what you're going to be doing over and over and over again. This is the strategy. So then, the last thing you do after this, so Knights of the Round linked with HP Absorb is important because that's pretty much guaranteed a full heal every time you use Knights of the Round. So if they get an attack in on you, his attacks hurt. They hurt bad. So if they get an attack in on you, you can just keep using Knights of the Round and they'll heal you anyway. Which is what we want. So, because, yeah, it does so much damage that it's pretty much guaranteed a full heal with the HP Absorb material linked to it, so that's why that's happening. Hades will hopefully keep it paralyzed. Sometimes it will become unparalyzed and then attack, and that can be a motherfucker to deal with. Because his attacks hurt real bad. So because of that, I die a few times. The strategy isn't foolproof, but if you keep kind of throwing yourself at him, you will eventually get it. I also recommend something I forget to do here and do later, is actually equip a ribbon onto Cloud. Keep the ribbon on Cloud, or whoever you're using to fight Ruby Weapon, because the tentacles in the back can also attack, and they like to inflict status ailments on you. So have the ribbon equipped. And then I'm just speeding through this. You'll see I die a few times. But I actually saw the emulator menu there for a second. Yeah, so you just kind of have to keep throwing yourself at it. It'll take a few tries probably, but eventually you'll get it. To have the ribbon equipped, just keep doing it. I'm readjusting materia because I realize I actually want some materia to level up and not others. But yeah, this is essentially what it is. Hades, Knights of the Round. And then after that, since you can only cast summon once per battles, that's where the Mime materia comes in. You mime it, which will do the exact same thing you did last turn at no extra MP cost. So Hades, Knights of the Round, W Summon, Hades, Knights of the Round, then mime that. So then he'll keep doing Hades and Knights of the Round over and over again. And as you see, yeah, I'm not doing too good. I get a lot of game overs here. But yeah, that's the strategy. It takes a bit because he has a fuck ton of HP, but just, you'll eventually be able to do it. And this is the harder of the two super bosses, most people seem to think. This one can be really fucking hard to deal with because it's such a particular strategy, but eventually you'll get it, and there you go. Beautiful, we got it. And with that, Cloud will be getting 45,000 HP, or experience points, so that's a lot of experience points, and 50,000 AP. So if this is where you should level it, add any material you want that you want to level up onto this, onto my materia setup that I recommend doing. Add any material you want to level up. Also be sure Cloud doesn't have his ultimate weapon equipped here, otherwise those materia will not get the AP. But yeah, that's if you want materia to level up, especially HP plus and MP plus, equip those on there. Those will level up like crazy, which is great. And so now we're going to end up having a fuck ton of HP plus materia. By the end of this part, every character will have like 8,000 HP or something ridiculous like that. But now what we are going to do is something very important. We are going to go to this house in Calm, and this house has this guy who is looking for specific items. He is looking for 3 items. He is looking for a guidebook. Then he is also looking for a desert rose, and finally an earth harp. If you remember, the guidebook is the item that we morphed that giant pirate ship enemy into in part, I believe it was part 28. That's what the pirate ship enemy was for. We morphed him into that. So the guidebook will get us the underwater materia, which is super important because if you remember, the second super boss is Emerald Weapon, and that boss is underwater. And if you start that battle without the underwater materia equipped, there will be a time limit because that's how long you can breathe underwater, making the fight nearly impossible. You're still able to do it, but it's just hard, so I don't recommend doing that. Just get the underwater materia. And also, we have the Desert Rose, which is the item we got from beating Ruby Weapon, will actually get us another gold chocobo from this guy. So, if you can somehow manage to beat Ruby Weapon without Knights of the Round, you'll get a gold chocobo, so you can skip the chocobo breeding side quest entirely. There's a way to do it without Knights of the Round, too. It's possible. If you're able to do that and have the patience for it, you can do that, and you can just skip the chocobo breeding side quest entirely. And you'll get the gold chocobo, and you'll be able to, get all the stuff you want after that. But now, Emerald Weapon is a bit of a different boss. Emerald Weapon is actually, personally, I find I have more trouble with Emerald Weapon than I do with Ruby Weapon. And it's for, well, usually I do. I actually beat it on my first try here, which is really lucky because usually I do not. So Emerald Weapon has a nasty gimmick where, also keep your other 2 party members dead. We only need 1. The strategy is simpler, but Emerald Weapon has a nasty gimmick where one of its attacks does damage based on how much materia you have equipped. So the more materia you have equipped, the more damage it does. So only take what you need. Otherwise, you will die. So I have an HP plus materia. Then I also have Knights of the Round linked with HP absorb still, W summon, and mime. And that's pretty much it. So this strategy this time is much simpler. Cast Knights of the Round twice. Do as much damage to it as possible every turn, and that almost killed me on the first hit. I am left with 47 HP, holy shit, but I'm going to get a full heal from Knights of the Round. That's the strategy. So I'm just going to speed up this animation, and then heal cast Knights of the Round 2 times in a row, and then that'll fully heal us, of course, and then we mime it, and that's it. That's the fight. And eventually I will show off, sometimes he will counterattack with the attack that does damage based on how much MP. Here it is right here. It's called Air Tam Storm, and Air Tam is just materia backwards. We have 6 materia equipped right now, so it will do 6,666 damage. If I had 1 more materia equipped, this attack would just straight up kill me. So, yeah, have as little materia equipped as possible, enough to get you through the fight, but not too much, because otherwise, if you have 9 or more materia equipped, that attack will just kill you instantly, and there's nothing you can do, because 9999 is the max amount of HP you can have. So, yeah. But anyways, that's the fight. I beat it on my first try. I get some lucky RNG, doesn't use as many attacks as it usually does. And we get 50,000 experience for this one and 50,000 AP. And because of that, we got a new mine materia, some new HP absorb materias, some new HP plus materias. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, so W summon Knights of the Round with HP absorb linked. That's the strategy for that fight. And there we go. Ruby Weapon gave you some more trouble, but both of them are no pushovers. You have to go in with very particular strategies, otherwise you will get your ass handed to you, especially since Emerald Weapon actually has over 1 million HP. It's an absurd amount of HP. So that fight can take a while. I sped through it, but just be prepared to be there a while. But anyways, now that we got the Earth Harp, we're actually going to head back to Calm once again. And we're going to talk to that guy again and give him the Earth Harp, and we are going to get the best reward of the 3 here. Gold Chocobo is really nice, but you know, we already had one, so whatever. The Underwater Materia helped us beat Emerald Weapon, but the Earth Harp, this is the true reward for beating these super bosses to me. Which is, we get the Master Materias. And Master Materias are materia, so the Master Magic Materia, for example, will give you every magic spell in the game on one materia. The Master Summon Materia gives you every summon in the game on one materia. And the Master Ability Materia gives you every ability in the game on one materia. And here I am, I forget that tents don't revive people, so I have to use Phoenix Downs and then waste 2 tents, but it's okay. And here I am I spent almost 10 minutes here equipping everyone. I give Cloud the Master Ability, so he has every ability. I give Yuffie the Master Summon, so she has every summon. And I give Barret the Master Magic, so he has every magic spell. So, yeah. If you want to see my exact materia setup, you can pause the game, but as you see, with the extra AP pluses and MP pluses we got, they have an absurd amount of HP and MP now. It's kind of ridiculous. But like, look, yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, now we are fully prepared for the final battle. We have the Master Materia now, so we have every ability, magic spell, and summon in the game. We have an absurd amount of HP and MP. We have Barret and Cloud's ultimate weapon. I should have probably gotten Yuffie's too, but we're already overpowered enough. And actually, that's going to do it for this part. And you know what happens next part. Next part is the finale. We are going to end it all off. So, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys next time for the finale of the Final Fantasy VII commentary. I saved twice for some reason.